away any sort of matchups that you're really concerned about. Lucian going to be banned off the table, so that a matchup that they want to avoid. Syndra is the one that most people talk about as being fairly difficult. We'll see if Perkz is concerned about that, or if he just wants to go towards a little bit of early MR, try to push out. Because we have seen that used in pro play pretty effectively as well, where they just kind of fight the wave while the Syndra tries to fight them, and they constantly shove in, reset, look to scale up in that manner. Aurelia going to be banned out here, so concerned about potentially Gnar counterpick. That's what that is kind of telling me, is that they are looking towards that. Of course, one of the things with banning out a specific pick like that is Cloud9 have the 4th pick, right? So you could just go towards Gnar right here and then say, oh, thanks for the ban. So that is always a little bit weird, but I do think that 100 Thieves is making the read that Fudge only wants to play like weak side tank, and we're going to be sitting back and playing that sort of style. But a lot of top lane bans coming through.
Yeah, unless something funky happens that I don't really see coming.
100 Thieves.
Interesting. All right, so yeah, physical damage in the mid and bot lane, by the way, for Cloud9. This Karma, I love this pick. It's a flex. I think Karma can never, one of the issues that Enchanter supports have is that it's really tough to survive engage tank junglers. Like, if Nautilus lands a hook on Karma, she's probably dead. Even with Barrier, even with Exhaust, is probably not going to be enough. But Senna TK is not going to do that.
Yeah.
Ezreal, Karma's going to put you under turret and enjoy last hitting. Senna can't heal you enough on the other side. If the top lane matchup's actually good for Karma, well, up she goes. It was fine. It was a flex all the same. So I love pick 4 Karma here. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially with the bot lane to see it right now. Karma GP, I imagine, has to look pretty good. I think any ranged auto attacker is fine against Gangplank barrels and feels pretty comfortable. You are diveable, sure, but the landing phase itself maybe never puts you under turret. So we'll see if they are going to give Fudge that champion. He has played it before. 2 Karmas and 2 Lulus.
Cho'Gath.
Cho'Gath. Very good in range champs, by the way. Karma doesn't have any blinks, so if Rupture lands, you're kind of just dead of the junglers there.
Yeah,
I
think this is going to be support Karma, and I think they'll pick something else, because I think double range is so strong. Set. Okay, very interesting. So, I mean, this still could theoretically be a flex, but I'm still expecting it to be Karma Ezreal down on the bottom side. I think Karma Ezreal into that Tahm Kench is going to make farming such a nightmare for Huhi, because every time you try to go for a last hit, you're going to be getting double poked. You could even go for the more aggressive style, like go Comet, go Spell Thieves. You're not worried about the all-in coming out here. That would be really interesting to see if they can pull that off. But Set versus Cho'Gath up on that top side is pretty interesting. I do think Cho'Gath is actually really strong these days. Is going to help them with securing objectives. I don't really know exactly how this matchup is going to go. I do think that, if you want to build for the 1v1 on Set, he's largely pretty successful into tanks just because he has so much sustain, right? It's actually very difficult to push him over that threshold where he isn't just healing through everything with Conquer and whatnot. But of course, if you can burst him down, the true damage from the ultimate is going to make it so he can't just sit forever at low health and make a lot of use out of that passive.
Yeah, there's going to be an interesting timing situation. All of Cho'Gath's spells actually have a full half-second cast animation, so if you know what's coming, that's enough for a human on land, or like in an LA server here, to do that on reflex. If you know what's coming, you have enough time for Rupture for free. For Feast is good enough. The tell isn't great, but you still have enough time to be like, oh, okay, it's happening. I'll hit W and tank that out. I've seen Cho'Gath burn Feast on 800-point shields before. It does nothing, so like that is a possibility to make that matchup look good. Of course, Cho has no innate escape, so the setup from Set to make the gank happen for Lilia, that's not too hard either. Blabber, by the way, going Phase Rush and not Predator as he was in Game 1. And we are on the Rift. Very exciting one. Going to be excited here. It's going to be a lot of damage available. Cloud9 100 Thieves do a little scuffle in this one for Game 3.
Cloud9, though, when you look at the comp overall, it's basically no engage, right? It's like a Fudge flank or maybe a Blabber or Sleep or something. But really, they're looking heavily towards poke, towards sieging. And anytime I see this style of composition, I immediately feel that you have to win early. You have to secure an advantage and get the fights that you want by being the first to a neutral objective and saying, hey, we won our lanes and we got 2 dragons early. Now you got to come fight us at the 3rd one and try to utilize your gold lead in that way. Because if 100 Thieves get out to an advantage, I think that they have better ways to actually start a lot of these fights. It's difficult to actually fight front to back through these 3 really big tanks with Senna behind them. So things could potentially get pretty difficult for Cloud9 in a situation where they're not winning the early game.
Absolutely. We looked up solo queue data. Set is favored against Cho'Gath, so cool of Fudge to know some of the less common matchups. Like Set top is not common, neither is top Cho, but found one that's going to work nicely.
You know,
sorry,
he's just really good against tanks generally. You know,
yeah.
It's one of those things where he just has really high innate sustain. His brawling is very good in melee matchups early. Again, Cloud9 initiating this kind of split map situation. They're the ones going towards topside though, so this is interesting because if you put Cho'Gath down early, that could get very difficult in this matchup. Yes, he could eventually arrive at that Scion-like status, but I think it's actually a lot easier to continue bullying a Cho'Gath than it is to do to a Scion.
Exact same kind of pathing by Blabber. Take 2 camps, run around to the other side of the map, figure out, okay, I can... I think they might have known based on timing that Udyr did 1 camp into invade, as Udyr's already taken the blue buff away, but hey, Perkz is already on the way.
Yeah.
Nice ward covers Closer, but Vulcan's here, and Closer, good luck, buddy! Gets the buff, gets level 3, and gets doubles back over to Perkz!
Oh, that is terrible for them. Everyone was missing. I can't believe he didn't try to actually get out of there. Perkz is missing from mid. Both of the bot laners are missing, and he just stays on the Gromp. That feels like a tilt play where he is realizing Blabber is taking all of my jungle. I gotta get something back. But unfortunately, all he accomplishes is giving first blood and double buffs over to Perkz, which now means Ryoma is screwed in the 1v1.
Oh man, I feel like Perkz could have honestly flashed to get 3 more autos and at least forces Ryoma's flash as well.
Yeah.
Didn't want to go for that play, but I mean, you know you're not getting ganked though. The jungler is dead.
I guess.
And then his rocket jump again afterwards.
It's true. I mean, he could have gone for that play, but I think when you already have first blood, when you already got yourself set up, you want to be able to spend that gold. But here it is, Closer again. Everyone missing, from bot lane, from mid. He just gets closed in on. There's nowhere really for him to go at this point, and Perkz just jumps in on his head, finishes off easy first blood, double buffs over to him. Cloud9 already looking so good in these early moments.
Had the timing right. The replay is done. FBI is like, yeah, we're sad. All right, see you in lower bracket, folks.
Maybe he's just spamming that, to be honest with you. Maybe he's always sad at this point.
Like, I got Jinx, and it didn't matter. They ganked top instead of my lane. Like, I miss Tanner DeMonte. I don't know what it is, but it's it's getting doomed quickly for 100 Thieves. Obviously, of course, you can come back. We have seen games start far worse than this and stuck away with a win. I believe it was TSM who did it themselves, where Closer would have been level 1 at this point in the game with no buffs, and it was still a game that Cloud9 lost, so possibilities are there.
I mean, Closer has just been doing nothing. There's no camps for him to farm. He lost his whole bot side. Blabber just again farmed his whole top side, so he's just like standing here waiting for something to do. But this is an unlikely dive to be able to pull off, I think.
Yeah, they're bleeding a bit of farm, then walking right back in. 1 auto will kill the plate. FBI, there we go, 80 gold shared across the 2 of them. But as you mentioned, yeah, Closer couldn't do anything, so he showed up bot and, denied a couple of CS there, right? Denied a little bit of gold from his opponents and then goes right back into it. Camp difference is 3. Of course, yes, 400 gold went to Perkz. Assist gold went other places, like the lane's going to be happy. 3 camp difference right now, and we'll see if the jungle gets any closer from there. 400 gold difference overall in the game.
I mean, I think it's going to get further because, look, Closer's going to his top side now. That's already all gone. All the camps are back up for Blabber. So it's not just that he's 3 camps ahead. He's got 4 camps to farm. He's going to do his wolves. His raptors will spawn by the time he's there. He has his full top side to clear. Again, Closer's job right now is like strafe back and forth and hope he can do something later. Like, there's nothing for him. He's going to try and invade, but Blabber's going to be moving up towards this top side, and Perkz has the move. So, now Closer is potentially in trouble again here. At the very least, he will get pushed out.
Okay. Doesn't die for the look at Raptors, but will indeed not kill those himself. Perkz kills the Trinket Ward. Smite comes through. Closer gets that, but Blabber has Phase Rush. So you land 3 spells, you run real fast. You get to keep up the chase. Not going to do much more. But yeah, I mean, what else could Closer do but take away one part of one camp? His Krugs are back, his Gromp's coming soon. Top lane could be the target. Fudge, though, level 6 could be in big damage. Someday getting down to 300. And here comes Closer. Silence, but they don't think they can win that one. He's on a ward anyway. Lilia's here. Blabber can try to get the chase down. Gets the stun, doesn't get the big sweet part of the Q, but does get nice sidestep control from the W as well. Closer, he's just gonna frickin' solo kill the guy! Jungle difference, let's go! Top lane, dunk backwards, comes in, Closer forced to flash away. You can take my camp, but I will take your life, silly deer!
Okay, yeah,
I don't know.
That happened.
I was feeling it.
Yeah, okay. Blabber, that was not it. That was not the play there. Just straight up ran into melee range of Udyr and ends up getting killed off. they had this brilliant start, and a lot of camp still on the map for him to farm, but just takes that fight, does end up expending his flash, but I believe it was probably the Tiger Dot or something. There was some sort of damage that was still on him after he flashed away. In goes Perks, though.
Big damage. Buster back, has second jump, doesn't want to go back in. Gwynn had the damage, especially with who he teleporting into the lane. So that is flashed down. All right. That was a nice little attempt right there. Good TP to save. We could watch that 1v1 in the jungle again. 100 performance play. Let's go, Closer.
Here it is one more time. Blabber really just needed to cover Fudge, but he wants to move in for it. Doesn't hit the outside of the queue. Closer is able to just turn around, get the bear stun on him immediately, and then, yep, Tiger Dot is up on him. Blabber flashes away, goes down regardless. Fudge, at the very least, was able to force that counter flash. I'm not sure if Fudge would have had the damage if he actually followed that flash with his own, because you can redirect your W like that, but it would have been close. He might have been able to get a counter kill, but if you flash in there and don't get it, of course, it is pretty costly.
Probably just die to someday with Eon, so it's like, all right, well, we'll just, I think even if you kill him, you might just die regardless, so you're flashing for a 1-for-1. That doesn't feel good either. Ultimately, I think, takes the more discretionary play. CS difference at top, by the way, gigantic. Fudge up 17. Certainly, there was a split map to where Blabber could show top and Closer never really could, so I'm sure some had to play a bit more defensively, but, I mean, Fudge right now is lane kingdoming the guy. Even though his own jungler got solo killed, Closer is now mostly caught up, and by the way, this entire time, he's on boots and nothing. But feeling pretty good about it. Blabber going Verdant Barrier, so getting some MR to early start this one. He is against Phoenix Udyr. Choa and Syndra all do magic damage, so Zhonya's would have felt pretty weird against very little physical damage.
Yeah, I feel like it makes sense here. Probably just go Verdant Barrier. I don't think he'll complete that. Likely into his mythic item would be my assumption. Yeah. Perks has been playing this lane very aggressively, but we are seeing the ability for Ryoma to fight back. And Perks, I'm going to be interested to see if he actually makes any sort of pit stop for a defensive item, if he's going to go Shield Bow as a result of going up here against Ryoma, or if he's going to just even grab, casual Null Magic Mantle as he did earlier in that Yone game.
Sees a Cho'Gath, but he's running fast. He's already stacked up the passive alongside the monster, so never going to get ruptured. Someone doesn't even try. There's just realistically no way it gets stopped, but now Closer shows up. He's going to be asleep. Can someday help him enough? Yep, that's going to be pretty easy. And by the way, thanks for the leash. He's got Feast, and that is going to be a guaranteed stack. Don't smite steal it. Let him feast it. Thank you. That is cash money to Someday. That is a feast stack that does not go towards the cap. Epic monsters are their own thing. And so Someday gets more health than ever before. And the Herald, for the first time all series, go the way of 100 Thieves.
At the very least, though, Sven likely can get a plate here, and it looked like it's going to be a total about 2 waves denied. Tom Kench could ult them the last little bit of it, but so either way, it's not that big of a deal for Cloud9. They would have liked to get it. They're actually going to go in chase here, but shouldn't amount to anything.
Yeah, Root's not going to mean enough. Wanted to get FBI away from some of the Q damage. Doesn't mean much there either. I like, by the way, just to realize that Sven actually started Cull in this lane, which I really, really like, because there's no way you're threatened in this lane. If you can greed out for a Cull, it's not like you need the max HP from a Doran's Blade. It's really effective. So really, really pleased to see that Sven went for a smart item choice that few players would have thought of.
Yeah, I think it's really effective. When you have the Cull, when you have the Spell Thieves over on the Cloud9 side, their gold generation is going to be really high in that bot lane when you're also expected to get farm advantages down there. Blabber may face check Closer here, but it's them going for the play first.
Jump timed well. Blue Smite doesn't get him in a range for the rest of it, so not going to be much. Blabber not going to go for the play either. Though Ryoma's stun is down, Closer was still too much of a threat. Ryoma had ulti. Ultimately, level lead for Closer in the jungle. He's, I think, mostly been able to absorb sort of parts of lanes. Obviously, Blabber's still up in farm overall. You can see, Perks with first blood. Sven farming so well with the Cull. That's going to jump, by the way, pretty soon when he gets 9 more CS. So some very fed marksmen. It's going to be armor stacking time, which has already been happening by the 100 Thieves. They've got steel caps on 2. They're going to go around for this dragon as well as Sven's under turret. So 100 Thieves, despite a catastrophic start to this game, are looking a lot better now coming into 11 minutes in as Perks. Yeah, that is a well-placed rupture by Someday. Forces Buster shot out. I believe Perks, wow, he's going to get chased down. The Vorpal Spikes are up soon. Sentinel buys a little bit more damage. The stun's going to come across and Someday feasts him. Perks goes down.
Nicely done. Another kill there, and they're dropping the Herald bot. 100 Thieves are battling back in this game, really starting to look pretty strong here. Sven does cash out the Cull. There's another one going there up on that top side for Fudge, so they are still slightly ahead in gold, but I like 100 Thieves' composition more, and the way that they're playing this game from that early deficit is pretty impressive. Just a really well-timed rupture, knocking him out of the air. Doesn't seem like he actually had Explosive Shot up early. Otherwise, I would have expected him to try to just use that right off the bat to reset his rocket jump. Instead, he's not able to do it. The feast comes through. Yep. It does cost 2 flashes for 100 Thieves. That is one thing working for Perks, as he actually didn't have the flash to expend, and both Ryoma and Someday used theirs.
Alrighty, those summoners are nice. Perks obviously the misplay on the rocket jump. That's a pretty silly one to take a hit on, but still, look at the game state. 600 gold difference, buffered by the fact that 1 Infernal Drake goes to 100 Thieves. Pretty close overall, I'd call this game. Keep in mind, the Herald has already been used and cashed in, so that is the money already in the pockets. Let's see what comes on next. The top laners keep fighting. The CS lead, by the way, top is 36 now. Someday, of course, a good roam to get a kill, but Fudge is absolutely slapping this lane right now.
I think getting the kill, though, it's not that bad anymore, right? You know, it's effectively cutting that gold lead between the two like in half, right? Yes, there is a call to cash out as well, but as long as Someday is not just getting bullied, he is going to be able to farm up. He is going to have access to the wave and get very, very strong. He already got 2 feast stacks from non-minions, which is pretty important because the minion ones are very easy to grab throughout that game. And he's just going to be stacking an incredible amount of armor. You know, Blabber is going this pretty defensive build, and
dunks in for the Lilia. Flash Cubing's double sleep. The rest of the team coming across pretty soon. Fudge got to be careful. Going to go for the pullback. Double stun. Over the top comes the rest of the team, and Fudge can never get the shield on in time. Someday will burn down. A kill comes across. Blabber gets the burn, actually. It is a 1-for-1 as everyone shows up in the lane.
Yeah, big fight up in that top side. The TP's coming through there from Ryoma. Sven looking with the ulti. Will not be able to find much. Actually sure what he was shooting for there, because he didn't go up towards the top side. Maybe, well, no, because usually if you go minimap, then it goes to the right side, right? Like, unless you have minimap on the left side or something, but that looked pretty weird. Either way, here it is one more time. The quick TP coming through, the double sleep there from Blabber was huge, but Ryoma arriving early, bursting down Fudge. Perks here to help clean that up, and then back here on this bottom side, we'll get to see this one more time. Not sure exactly what the ultimate was about. Okay, just looking for FBI there, expecting him to step forward. So it wasn't about that top side, was just looking for the poke in the lane.
And the waves go down in mid. So Ryoma had to battle a double buff First Blood Tristana, and is coming out ahead in CS and accomplishing more in the mid game. This is not a joke to say Syndra really is comfortable in this matchup. Tristana cannot exert kill pressure, even with the advantage he had before. Obviously, Cloud9, their bans were more aimed at making the other lanes good. Can't say it was the wrong thing to do, but it does mean Ryoma is feeling the best he ever has in this lane this series. Was actually a pretty comfortable Syndra pick, and we'll see if his mid game can keep going on. Gale Force is done for Tristana. This is the more assassin build where you can rocket jump, Gale Force forward, guarantee you get the 4 auto attacks on, and then the reset and get out. But it means that Perks is not tailoring towards actually killing frontline fast. And there's a Cho'Gath, an Udyr, and a farming Tahm Kench. A frontline is here in this game.
Plus, it's double Moonstone, right? Blabber is not actually going for Leandries, so I think they are really going to struggle to actually kill frontline. And even just based off of the game state now, despite Cloud9 being at an advantage, of course they can win, they can outplay. But I actually really favor 100 Thieves in the current game state. Stacking armor against, this very defensive Lilia build, which is Moonstone, Mercs, Ardent Barrier, doesn't really have any sort of magic damage to speak of. The Karma's not going to be much of a threat there either. You have Set, Tristana, and Ezreal, who are going to be hitting all of these armor stackers, and that itemization is going to be so incredibly effective. So Cloud9 really will have to find outplays. Because they didn't get early dragon stacking, they didn't get big lane advantages really in this early phase.
A little bit of it will be on Fudge. He is going Blade of the Ruin King here on set. That is going to be very lethal. So he might find his way in as Vulcan snags the last hit on the second Herald of the game. So 5-1, the overall Herald score. The early ones, though, are more valuable. 100 Thieves crashed 2 plates bottom with that one. And indeed, with most of the bot lane heading over to help with that Herald, there's a little bit of time here for 100 Thieves to go for this turret himself. You're going to see FBI take solo gold, who he walks back and lets him get 450 on himself. First turret of the game. Mid answered back, though, as 2 turrets have now been cracked. And it's time for the second dragon now. Cho'Gath and Triss seeing each other over in mid. Fudge still has TP, has not pressed that spell, though. So outside of a Smite Steal, this is 100 Thieves being given this dragon.
Yeah, I think they're going to give it. There's no flank ward. There's not really anywhere for him to join unless 100 Thieves over chase or something. I think they just want to try to trade for gold. They got the mid lane turret. They lost their bot, but they're trying to get top lane as well. Especially the fact that he went Blade of the Rune King. You know, that's great for the 1v1, but Blade of the Rune King against this type of team comp in a team fight is so dangerous, right? Because you have to take in consideration the true damage from the Cho'Gath ulti. If you just get scattered by the Syndra, hit by the Syndra ulti, any sort of damage on top of that, you're basically in feast range. You've got very little health. It is just about that 1v1. So I do have concerns for Fudge as far as the 5v5 goes, unless he can find a really good angle. But flanks are more difficult when there is Tahm Kench, who can deny a lot of your playmaking. So Cloud9 going to have to play out a pretty clever game here, and I think really outplay their opponents, because I just feel compositionally they're at a huge deficit.
They are. We'll see, though. Right now, a 1,600 gold lead is answered by 2 dragons. Still, that feels reasonably close. It's just via scoreboard. I wouldn't say there's a definitive leader here, but Ryoma finds a whole bunch of damage. Perkz nearly drops. Doesn't quite have the rest of it as needed. And Perkz is able to jump away with his life. Senna, yep, nice sidestep, nice try. Happy B. Out they go.
Going to be able to get out of there, but Syndra really showing just how dangerous it is for Trist in that side lane. If you're not going to build defensive, if you're not going to build any MR, there's always the risk of just getting 100 to 0'd if you get caught by that E. You know, it would have just been one more Q to actually kill him off. Closer, going to take a bit of poke here, but...
Sven rooted, here comes the sleep, here comes the big damage. Nice pushback on the Udyr to keep him alive as the ultis were burned. Perkz and Fudge are here, FBI is gone, Set has shown up, and Set is going to find some more. Who he has been rooted, and he's going to be killed. Sven has gotten that one as well. Cloud9 jumped that gold lead up to 32,000 to 29.
They needed the playmaking, they needed the outplays, and they do find one in that mid lane. Double TP committed as 100 Thieves look to seed there. Cloud9 grabbing themselves a couple kills, but unfortunately for them, there's nothing to get off the back of it. There's no Dragon, there's no Herald, it's pre-20 minutes, so no Baron. So it is just the 2 kills for the 2 TPs, but a good proactive play here from Cloud9, spotting an opportunity as the teleport wasn't up for Syndra, and they both TP in behind here. At this point, the 3-man squad just needs to play slow, make sure that they don't die. Fudge not even committing the ultimate there, as FBI flashed really for nothing, and they're going to be able to clean up those 2 kills.
Yes, indeed. Time for the blue buff to go down. Royam will get something back on his side of the map as items keep stacking up there. But Fudge, he took top lane outer turret when there was a play for a dragon. On the other side of the map, he's now on bottom lane, going for this one as well, decides, okay, I am safe. I've seen enough people. I will take another turret. This is now the 2nd solo turret Fudge has gotten. He is a very, very rich man. Not a ton of farm because of all the action in top, but a lot of gold thanks to his assists from the TP plays and gold from the turrets. I mean, he's going to be real comfortable in this game and a real threat, honestly.
Yeah, he's looking good. As soon as Syndra showed on that top wave, he actually went back towards the turret, so was worried about potential collapse from Syndra or something like that, but with her showing, felt safe to just walk up, kill that tower off. The Cloud9 extending that gold advantage here a bit more. Sven on this heavily scaling build. Ryoma, though, is going to be hunting for Perkz, who will have seen him, but Perkz clearly doesn't want the fight. You know, use the explosive shot on a minion there, and is, as a result, just going to have to back it up, but 4 members top. Oh,
this feels diveable. They've got Tahm Kench coming as well. No easy way out for Perkz. Absolutely none whatsoever. Ulti just for good measure. Not sure he needed to burn the cooldown, but what's it going to change regardless? Nice kill on the top side. And now Fudge battling Someday. He's at half HP on the first trade. Wait till he ults the next one.
I can tell you, I am sure he didn't need the ultimate because Ryoma didn't even get an assist with the ultimate there. He was already dead. So unfortunate for him, but not a big deal. It's not that long of a cooldown. Nice proactive stuff there from 100 Thieves. Wrapping around behind Perkz, and I think he was smart to not even bother flashing. You are just dead to rights with them on both sides.
As ult for wave clear. Sven obviously has the Arcane Shift, he has the Karma Shield. You can see Vulcan playing behind him. Has not finished the Spell Thieves combined just yet. He's still on Frostfang. It can be harder in the mid game to walk up for poke when you don't have a flash. You are, you know, a flash, you know, send a W. You probably just die for that, so just going to play it safely and wait around a little bit more. Closer going to grab the next Scuttle Crab. Dragon spawns in 20 seconds. It would be number 3 for 100 Thieves. They have yet to get Soul. They've always been stopped before that point came across. Stun not going to land. Perkz takes a bit of poke. Back to the mid lane as they knock the waves down back and forth. C9 get the first push. And 100 Thieves actually going to have to give away the wave. So if they want to go for a mid lane tier 2, C9 could do it. But they're going to fight for the river instead. Somebody in the front line. honestly taking some decent damage. Fudge playing frontline himself, not going for a flank play. And they are pushing 100 Thieves back. The poke pretty solid.
And critically, both the marksmen on C9 completed their 2 items. It's Storm Razor done. It's the Muramana already stacked up here, so we'll see if they want to take this fight. But Feast, if you don't actually contest for the fight, you're going to lose it to the Feast.
Unless Fudge can dunk Cho. Now it's going to be the reset. Half HP on Karma. Perks over the wall, but has to get away. Nice spit by Tom Kench. Here comes the play yet again. Set all over the top. Ryoma nearly dead. Dunk comes in for Fudge. Pretty Tanky gets the shield, and Sunday's at 1,000, but it's still the forced disengage. Feast still available. Huhi back in the front line. Stun's going to hit the back line, but an arcade shift keeps him safe. Perks in the air, and a nice pickup. It's Blabber who claims the smite as they push back Sunday, and Perks flashes, but he's going to get turned around on. Rocket Jump still available, gets away with it, but into the back line goes Fudge. Gets one, gets pushed back down as the Feast comes through. A 1-for-1 team fight, and now Huhi being chased. Gets healed, gets the shield,
Blabber's
runs
so
away
fast.
for his life. Can he be killed? Sven's rooted in place. Vulcan wants in, but Vulcan's low. Blabber comes across for the swirl seed. Ruptured into the air. Huhi spits one right back out, and it's a second kill for Cloud9. Perks once in again, cannot find any more. 2-for-1 team fight, plus the Dragon still is a victory for Cloud9.
That was huge for Cloud9. Perks playing it so aggressive, really riding that line. In that team fight, constantly getting autos out, constantly moving forward, despite the threat of getting 100-0'd. He jumped in earlier, was able to actually then flash in here, buffer the rocket jump out in retreat. Notice his positioning over the wall, getting these autos out constantly, saving his abilities until he sees, okay, we can go in. Goes in for the flash, not able to get it. The flash comes back here from closer, but he buffers the rocket jump in time. Fudge gets into the middle of 100 Thieves, and they're able to continue pushing forward, continue chasing for these kills. And 100 Thieves just narrowly able to escape with a lot of their lives. Somebody down incredibly low, and honestly, it could have been a lot more kills going the way of Cloud9 if it wasn't for that Senna Shroud coming back up, able to make them untargetable under the tower.
Same build again for FBI, still doing the Rage Knife Zeal. Did it in the previous game as well, by the way, when he was on Jinx, went for Zeal into Lord Dominic's. It is a very efficient item, by the way. Zeal got buffed a few months ago and is outstandingly efficient. Regardless, we won't dwell on that one too much because there's much more going on in this game as Closer finds a duel against Perch. Not going to be the easiest one to win, though. Gets him to half HP. Team coming around. Blabber's around. Sunday's nearby. The Flash Feast almost kills him, and it's going to be FBI getting the kill in the mid laner. But how much damage will this Cho'Gath take? Ghost has put him back out. He'll stay alive for now, but no mid laner means no team fight for Cloud9.
Yeah, that's huge. They could actually go towards topside. They already have a wave there, potentially threaten that tower. As you can see, Perks is not able to escape, not really able to duel his way out of that as Closer got on top of him, but Fudge going in.
Wow. Stride breaker, dunk, finds FBI again. Fudge does it by himself. That was beautiful. Fudge heard you were talking smack about him, and he came to answer. Top diff in this game right now. He's doing so much work.
Yeah, Fudge, that was huge, but FBI, I think he jumped out of the Tom Kench way too early there. He could have actually stayed in the Tom Kench's belly during the set ultimate. By jumping out, he allowed that damage to land on him. He made himself a target. So here it is, Closer finds the angle to get on top of Perks. Perks just has to retreat. He sees the Tom Kench ultimate coming in from one side, but unfortunately for him, there's a Cho'Gath and a Senna coming in the other side there. A good bit of damage did come in return from Cloud9, but 100 Thieves able to kill off the mid laner, and then this is the subsequent play. Fudge able to find the angle here as FBI comes out of the Shroud. Fudge stepping up, gets the Stride Breaker in, snaps them together, and this is where I'm talking about. If you actually stay in the belly of Tom Kench, you will not get hit by the ultimate damage as Fudge dunks him across. So a little bit of panic mashing there. You have to remember you can stay in that Tom Kench for a couple seconds, but if you're spam clicking, you'll always pop out a lot earlier and make yourself target once again.
He wanted to jump out because they weren't safe. Like FBI is just gonna or Sven and Co are gonna walk up and keep hitting him. So he's like, okay, let me stop slowing Huhi so that we can get out and run away. And the second he did it, it's like, well, yeah. Problem is Fudge is gonna dunk, and it's rough. Obviously the kills came through. I know. I'm not even sure he would have lived, but if he spit out. But you're right. He just got hit with the rest of it, and obviously got followed up on. Either way, it is a nice play from the set. That's what we'll come away with this one from. And the gold lead remains about 3,000, even though top lane turret goes down. Nice job, Ryoma, in top lane. This game is still getting away from 100 Thieves. They have had glimmers of hope for sure. There have been some nice moments, but they are running away with it now. Blabber, I like this actually. Going for some secondary damage now. Demonic Embrace joins the build.
Yeah.
It's also a fairly tanky option. And add some magic damage to the roster.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that a little bit. You know, kind of a bit of a hybrid build here. You know, he has the Verdant Barrier as well as the Merc Treads, the Demonic Embrace to help him get a little bit of that additional burn damage, as well as not get burst down, so he can maybe get in the mix a bit more here. Constantly be proccing that Moonstone. Vulcan looking to do the same. And you can see the Last Whisper is already coming through. Streldia's Grudge being finished there on Sven. The Last Whisper perched up here for Perks. So the IE going to be delayed for Perks, but feels pretty necessary as the armor stacking is going to be huge. And looks like 100 Thieves want to go for Perks again. He's kind of been caught out once more. We'll have to TP and retreat. 100 Thieves have backed off, but he didn't know that.
Sure. Yeah, tried to Gale Force to make sure he was in fog. Said, look, if I can save a half second on the re-engage, if that's enough to keep me alive, we're going to go for it. But it means that Dragon has been left up on the table, and 100 Thieves are going to be willingly giving away Dragon number 2 as Cloud9 stack more and more with that ultimate haste. And now both teams are halfway to Dragon's Soul. 100 Thieves have yet to find a stride now in the mid game, constantly broken by Fudge and his engages.
But Cloud9 really not that far ahead, right? I still think the 100 Thieves are in a pretty good spot in this game. Be interested to see how many souls FBI has actually collected at this point.
Ooh, yeah.
As we are closing in on that 30-minute mark, and he'll be building that Rage Blade up here pretty soon. Ryoma again hunting here for Perks, but Perks just going to push the wave, back it up, knows he has to play safe, has gone for a very aggressive build, doesn't want to itemize to survive against the Syndra because he knows he is required to kill off that front line. And see if there's an opportunity here for Ryoma.
Cooldown's down. Yeah, Perks plays it safely enough. Oh no, Blabber! Sorry, Closer's here. Tom Kench coming up as well. Perks gonna flash. Blabber is now here. And gonna find himself a slow. Will they go for the sleep? Will they go for the play? It's a swirl seed on a flash away. Fudge in the front line gets himself a stun. Blabber's gonna sleep 3. Out goes Ryoma. No, gonna be re-engaged upon. Watch out! Eep! Out he goes. 1 for 0 so far. Make it a second as Blabber chases him down. And the flash into the tether onto Closer. He's gonna be rooted. Perks is here. And the auto's gonna be enough. The buzzer shot not nearly. And now Someday has nowhere to go. Blabber getting away from FBI. Someday gonna re-engage. Can he find the feast? Cannot kill Sven. And it's gonna be the chase on for more. FBI not long for the world. Fudge takes him down. It's a 4-0 team fight looking like a 3-0.
Fudge has been a monster for them this game. Again, killing off FBI there. 100 Thieves going for the initial play, but Cloud9 are just so much faster to respond to it. The whole squad getting up there incredibly fast. Someday was not with them. FBI was not with them. So when Closer, as well as who he commit to this play, commit to trying to take down Perks, look at the map state right now. The 3 Cloud9 members around mid lane are going to be able to respond to this so much quicker. Look how fast they start moving. The instant teleport coming through. There's no TP on Someday, and FBI is miles away. So Cloud9 find the play, commit to it, good comms there, and really quick movement across the map to get the extra members where they needed to be, to get the kill onto Huhi, onto Ryoma, and then recognize, hey, we can continue chasing for this. Just barely Closer survived from that Buster shot, but Someday has no way out without the flash, so turn 100% Sven. FBI is going to go down as well, and that means the Baron to Cloud9, the gold lead massively to Cloud9, and now they have more than enough of an advantage to really close out this game.
Looking like a likely 3-0 as the Red Bull Baron is on. 2,600 gold. They're knocking down even more turrets to grow that number. Now up to 3K as the siege will continue. Still 1:45. It'll end right around the time the 5th dragon spawns, so you can take a Baron recall and then get back to the bottom river and stack that one up. We'll see if Sven wants to even go for this turret. Right now it's a little bit dangerous, but you can see 40% of FBI's health goes down to a single Ezreal Q. And that is still pre-mythic. Closer. Oh, that's a triple sleep. Is that just the engage? It's likely to be. It's going to be a big set of damage. Closer feasted up, walked away, but Huhi has to flash now himself. FBI summoner heals, give him the movement speed, and the team will live, but that is still a cost of 2 summoners for just the ulti. The dunk comes in. He's got the shield. He's got Ryoma dead to rights. Fudge just keeps killing Australians over and over again. He's doing it over and over again, and now the mid lane turret is under fire. FBI going to be slowed up, going to be jumped away, just barely alive, but Perks is still on the chase. The turret falls. Nothing else to defend. 100 Thieves. It is 5v4. 35 seconds on the Ryoma respawn timer might mean they go for the base. They've got to wait.
They're going for the end.
Here we go. Turret number 1 going to explode as damage erupts onto the frontline tanks. Suhi trying to build some time, but can they win the 4v5? Blabber pushed back a little bit. He does not have armor. That's going to be good damage out of the Senna. And as the wave goes down, the turrets go down as well. Another triple sleep comes across. On the frontline, they will finally kill Fudge, but Perks is over the wall. He will try to collect BI. The explosive charge may just claim him, and it will indeed. They're alone with the Nexus now as Someday tries to regen. Closer stays alive. The team regenning on the fountain, but Perks will not be stopped, and the Nexus certainly will go down. Cloud9 to find themselves the 3-0 victory as Perks may just die, and the game is over. The Mammoth Flare comes up. Congratulations, Cloud9, on the 3-0 victory.